Hello, friends. My name is Heather Gill, and I'm a certified hypnotherapist, certified life coach, author, and self-proclaimed practical optimist. Now, what we're going to be talking about is something I wrote about in my book called Reflections on Life and Living, and that's what one person can do. Because, my friends, it's the small things that really change the world. And I think that you all know that. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to commit some grand gesture or have this plan that cures everything in an instant. We can just do little things that change the world one person at a time. Now, I have to admit, I took the title of this next section from a song by John Denver called What One Man Can Do. And I tweaked it and switched it around to suit our purposes. So let's begin. What one person can do is smile. What another person can do is return it. What one person can do is reach out a hand in loving kindness to another soul in need. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a grand gesture. You could just be calling a friend you haven't heard from in quite a while, or it could be writing a thank you note when you don't normally do it for something that someone did that made you smile. What we can do is love one another as humans, partners, friends, siblings. It's really not that hard. Next, I would advise that you check your own energy. And that can be a feeling such as, am I putting out anxiety, or am I putting out other more negative emotions? But you want to check yourself first before you try and fix someone else. And the other side of that is you have to make sure that the person wants to be fixed, and it's not you just wanting to fix them. You can teach by example, and I think that's the best way. And when I think about this one, I think about religion in a lot of ways, because most people say, oh, I don't belong to any formal church or religion or whatever, because all they do is cram their ideas down your throat. So instead of doing that, I propose that we live by what our religion teaches. And in a lot of them, there's a common theme of do unto others as you would have done to you. Next, if someone asks you for your help, do it to your best ability. Not just the bare minimum, not just the quiet quitting that we see so rampantly these days, but give it your very best. The next thing is, you can take care of people without making a big deal out of it, because when we take care of each other, it's something that comes from our heart and our soul. And the person that we are helping or giving ourselves to, or helping in some way, doesn't owe us anything in return. A true gift is given without price, without saying, oh yeah, I'll take your garbage out for $10. And trust me, this happens at several places I've worked as a caregiver, that everything has a price. Why don't we do something and not put a price on it? You know, the return could be a smile or a thank you. But when you help someone, you don't hold it over their head. You do it and you move on. For example, when I worked with children in psychiatric lockdown and in behavior classrooms, a lot of them could not take a compliment. Whenever they were given a compliment, they would do the exact opposite and try and get in trouble. Like if we said, oh, you know, Tanner, you look really nice today, or, oh, you behaved really well in class today. What Tanner might do, and this is no one's name that I've ever cared for, what he might do is next time he comes into class is act out. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but these little guys were so afraid of not being able to live up to the standard of, you did great in class today. So I did what I called a hit and run, where I go by their desk and say, hey, Tanner, good job raising your hand when you wanted to talk, and just walk away. So that he didn't really have the time to act out. So he was caught unawares. And that worked sometimes, not all the time, but a lot of the time. Now the next one is something that is kind of important, and that is to do something once or twice a week that you and others might normally charge a fee for. For example, I could decide to give you a free hypnosis session today. Or I could, let's see, what's another one? I could write you a poem. Or I could wash your car. And maybe you'll bring me dessert from the bakery you work in. Small, it's little things. That's what I'm trying to put across to you, is that if you get too caught up in the big picture, you miss the little things, the joy in the moment, the happiness of making an older person or a younger person smile. Which brings us to our next one, and that is, especially if you love to cook, you could make one extra dessert or two and take it to a neighbor who maybe can't cook for themselves or don't want to, or they don't have family to care for them. You know, maybe an extra cupcake or a cookie that you could take to them. Next, be gentle. There's way too much violence in this world today, and I think that we all know that. We don't have to let it frighten us into submission. But we also don't have to feed the violence. Because, my friend, it's been said that what you feed grows. Next, make other people laugh. This goes hand in hand with being gentle and kind. There's nothing like the belly laugh that comes from a little child or a person, an older person who maybe hasn't laughed in a while. But when they do, they feel free, young, happy. And you can do that. Even if it's a stupid joke. I tell the dumbest jokes to my clients. And they like it. Because they're just kind of fun and silly. And I think we need to be that way sometimes. This is an important one. Walk your path the best that you can. That doesn't mean that other people can't walk it with you. Picture walking down a street and reaching out your hand and holding someone else's as they're walking their path. You're together but separate. You each have your own path. But that touch means that you're not alone. Next, and this is hard for us overachievers and us folks who have to do multiple things all the time, rushing back and forth, hurry, hurry, hurry. I ask you for 1 hour or 1 day, focus on one thing at a time. Next, believe in ideals. Believe in heroes or superheroes. Believe in what they stand for and try and emulate it. By being a voice for the weak and downtrodden, or helping them with cans from your house or a hot meal that you cooked, you could bring it to them. This is an important one too. Realize that just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. I'm going to take a minute and let you think about that. Just because you're able to do something doesn't mean you should. Think about what you do and the consequences that could come from it. Next, trust other people, especially children and the elderly. They're both wise beyond measure, and we can learn a lot from both groups. Next, trust yourself. Inside, you're made of love and light. And trust that as you walk forward every day. The next one is try your very best to forgive other people and yourself. Forgiveness isn't always easy. But you can forgive. You can try to let go. And it may take a while, and that's okay, because maybe you need to let some of your wounds heal themselves a little bit more before you say, I forgive you. That being said, it doesn't mean that you should let people walk all over you. It doesn't mean that you need to take a person back in their life, into your life, just because you forgave them. It means that you are letting go of the hurt and anger and resentment that another person prompted you to feel. Next, don't ask another person to do something that you would not do. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Lastly, be humble, grateful, and kind, and love as much as you can every day. Because love saves us. It gives us hope and joy and the promise of a brighter, new tomorrow. To further quote the song, what one man can do is dream. Dreaming is how change starts. But sometimes dreams disappear into the mist of our subconscious if we do not act. These actions can be small or large, and it may not seem to matter, but it does. There's a ripple effect that occurs when, I believe, that occurs when we commit acts of kindness or unkindness, and that can have a ripple effect on everyone and everything around us. For example, like I was saying before, small little things matter. Think of it this way. Small raindrops fall into a stream that make it grow stronger and give it the energy and volume it needs to reach the ocean. So, my friends, today, try and go out, or this week, try and go out in the world and do small acts of kindness. One a day, one a week, one a month. It helps you and it helps someone else. Again, that came from a story in my book called Reflections on Life and Living. And you can find it on Amazon, or you can go to my life coaching website, which is www.heathergilllifecoaching.com. And you can either book an appointment or phone me or text me. I'm willing to meet on the platform that serves you best, whether it's phone, face-to-face, FaceTime, and so on. And so, my friends, again, thank you so much for listening. And remember, hold your head high, pull your shoulders back, and walk forward. Today is a bright and beautiful new opportunity to take small actions that can change the world. Thank you again. Bye, everyone.